So throughout my time competing for the Commonwealth Games, I didn't really have any injuries that put me out for good. I was always doing something, but leading up to Tokyo, there were a lot of unfortunate injuries that did put me out of action, or significantly did. And what they all did was, by each injury would somewhat strip away the identity that I thought I'd created for myself when I went to the Commonwealth Games, because I was this athlete now. Beforehand, I was just this person that trained, and now I found something to cling onto, which was some elite weightlifter. So each time I would get injured, I would have to think outside the box to what happens if this all ends tomorrow, and put more effort outside of just being a weightlifter. And this eventually led me to doing things like starting my own podcast and coaching, and trying to not be so consumed by being an athlete, which is such a small slither of the pie when it comes to your life. That gave me a lot of perspective, but also made the journey a lot harder to make the Olympics. So it was a mixture between tracking all of my training, trying not to look too far ahead, simply because I couldn't, because I had a comp to go to, and also slowly chipping away at my athlete identity through being pulled away from it.
There's so much gold in there. I love the idea of, there's this whole idea of, we have like lots of rooms in our house, and we need to give love to all of our rooms. And if we go all in on one room, when that room disappears, what are you left with? Which sounds like an epiphany that you kind of had, which is, injury was serving as a good reminder that you might not be a weightlifter tomorrow. And if you'd label yourself and your whole identity was around being a weightlifter, and if that's taken away, then what are you now? That's something that I actually still battle with. It's like, how do I introduce myself on a podcast? How do I introduce myself, in a busy room? Like, am I a coach, or am I the podcast, or actually, like, is that just a profession, and who I am on the deeper level is actually something very, very different? How do you answer that question now when people ask you, what do you do?
I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, because I'm the same way as you. I've typically just gone for, my name's Brandon Weightlifter, like I'm sure I probably did at the start of this podcast. And I've thought whether I speak on whether that's traits, being that, I'm Brandon, I'm curious, I like to do this and that, I just so happen to enjoy training. One thing I don't like calling myself is an Olympian, because in my head, that is some super out of this world, alien type, special character that I idolized for my whole childhood. Whenever I seen an Olympian, I thought they were the special among us. And once I got there and realized, obviously me being there, that I'm human alongside everyone else, I despised even the idea of saying that I'm an Olympian. I'm some special individual when I'm just like everyone else. I didn't grow up, training for weightlifting from the age of 4. I grew up just like everyone else, doing different sports. I just so happened to fall into doing something that I loved. I committed to it, and then I made some special event. And I would say I'm someone that likes to train. I like to service others through the vessel of weightlifting. I think that's how I see myself these days. Weightlifting is a tool that I can use to help empower, build confidence, essentially give happiness to people that I work with.
I love it. I'm on that. I'm on that same journey at the moment, and wrestling with that question, which is like, who am I? And I was just thinking about it today after my workout, as I was just walking outside and asking myself, I want to redesign the way that I answer that question. And I know if I start saying it, I'll start believing it as well. So thank you for sharing kind of where you're at on your journey. I'll take some inspiration from it.
I'm not quite there yet as well, but I'm definitely pondering on that on a daily basis. That's for sure.
Love it.